Hey guys, so today we have another video that looks at the Mopar Limited Edition vehicles. These began in 2010 with the Challenger and have been released annually ever since. We've already done part 1, you can check the top right corner for that. And as promised, today is part 2, looking at 3 other vehicles, that's all we have time for. And then part 3 will come out later and look at the rest, and there'll probably be even a part 4. So before we start, we need to briefly look at what Mopar actually is, and where the name comes from. So the term was first used by Chrysler in the 1920s, created by a committee to use on cans of Chrysler Motor Parts antifreeze. By 1937, Chrysler began using it as a brand, and the name Mopar is a blend of the words motor and parts. So the term now refers to Mopar Parts, which are the OEM parts for FCA vehicles, but many people can also use it as an overarching umbrella term that describes pretty much any Chrysler vehicle from Dodge to Jeep to Ram. So going back to these limited edition vehicles, they all feature custom paint and have many Mopar performance and cosmetic modifications that will separate them from the regular vehicles, and they were all produced in very limited quantities. So let's begin. So after Mopar used the big three, Challenger, Charger, and 300 for the first 3 editions, they went off the map a little bit for the 4th one and used the Dodge Dart. This would also mark the first Mopar edition vehicle without a V8 engine. Just 500 of these darts were made, and the exclusivity came at a cost of $26,480 US. To compare, that's a hell of a lot more expensive than the other dart trim levels, $4,490 more than a Dart GT, and a huge $9,490 more than a base Dart SE. So that puts this Dart into Ford Focus ST or Volkswagen GTI type of money. The exterior black and blue theme continues once again, as it did in the other vehicles, with pitch black paint and an offset Mopar blue racing stripe that runs along the entire length of the car. An aerodynamic kit has been added with ground effects, like a new front chin splitter, a one-piece decklet spoiler, and an aggressive rear diffuser. The Dart sits on lightweight 18-inch gloss black wheels with Mopar center caps, there's a Mopar design badge on the trunk, and another Mopar badge up front in the grille. And when we compare this look to a regular Dart, it's definitely a significant improvement and looks very sinister and sporty. As good as it does look, the interior is probably the best part of the Dart. It continues that exterior theme with an electrifying blue catskin leather driver's seat with black accents, and that of course matches that blue rally stripe on the outside. The rest of the seats are all black catskin leather with blue accents. Both front seats have the Mopar logo stitched near the headrests, and Mopar says that they did it this way to, quote, keep the emphasis on the driver, end quote. The leather-wrapped steering wheel and shift knob also feature blue stitching, and the theme is topped off with gloss black and light black chrome accents everywhere, and the floating center island bezel has Mopar blue piping around it. This Mopar 13 also gets some luxury features, like an industry-first wireless charging spot for smartphones, a bright pedal kit, premium Mopar carpet floor mats, door sill guards, and the 8.4-inch Uconnect system with navigation. And also, we can't forget about the serialized plate that shows you which production number your Dart is out of 500, and that's found right under the touchscreen. It's a good thing Mopar went very hard on the interior, because the performance is certainly lacking. The only available powertrain is the turbocharged 1.4-liter 4-cylinder paired with a 6-speed manual transmission, so that gives the car an output of 160 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque, and a 0 to 60 time of 8.2 seconds, with a quarter-mile time of 16.2 seconds. So it's not exactly crazy Mopar performance. There were a few things added at least. The ride height was lowered by 0.3 inches, wider than stock 225/40 R18 sports tires were used, and beneath those wheels there were upgraded slotted rotors. The power steering was also recalibrated for more weight and feel, and there was a sport-tuned exhaust added for better sound. The final additions to the package were a personalized owner kit with all the contents found in a custom-made black case. So that included a personalized plate with vehicle specs, the car's date of manufacture, a brochure, other memorabilia, and a limited edition sketch of the vehicle that was signed by Mark Trossel, the Chrysler Group chief designer for the Mopar brand. Now, the Mopar 13 Dart is a very interesting case if you want to look at its value, and there were some complaints about the price tag, so I want to spend some time on that. On paper, the price of $26,480 was a pretty good deal. If you added all the options on screen to a 2013 Dart, it would also be around $26,000 as well, and with the Mopar 13 you're actually getting a lot more. However, when we compare this to other vehicles in the class, like the Ford Focus ST or Volkswagen GTI that I brought up earlier, then you can see clearly that for the price you get a hell of a lot more performance. We are talking sometimes over a full 2-second gain on the 0 to 60 times, and a lot more power. So that was one factor for the Dart's demise to begin with, not just on the Mopar 13s but in general. As I talked about for a long time in my History, Major Flaws, and Why I Got Cancelled video, the Dart didn't really do anything great. While it was a good car, it just did everything to an average level with nothing to differentiate it from other cars. It wasn't the fastest, or the most fuel efficient, or the most comfortable, or the most reliable, or the best anything. One industry expert said it best, Quote, compact cars are a hyper-competitive market segment. You can't launch an average vehicle and succeed. End quote. Alright, so moving on from the Dart, next up we have the Mopar Edition 14 Challenger, which is an ultra-rare version of the Challenger. This one does things a bit differently, the first Mopar Edition vehicle to have two color options, bright white or pitch black. And this time around, the production was extremely limited, just 100 cars for the US and another 10 for Canada, but the actual production numbers turned out to be 60 units of the pitch black and another 51 of the bright white for a total of 111. Dodge opened up the US order lines on April 1st of 2014 and the first 100 models sold out pretty quickly within just one business day. The price of this car cost almost as much as an SRT model with a starting MSRP of $40,490, so you were sacrificing some performance in favor of more exclusivity. This special edition Challenger was based on the new, at the time, RT Shaker version, so ultimately this was a very dressed up RT. It was meant to add any of the new 3 SCAT packages, all of which had been recently announced as well. Those SCAT packages never really took off, but we will check out the many customization options in a minute. One of the major attractions of this Mopar 14 edition was the return of the Shaker, which poked out from the hood with an awesome Shaker logo to go along with it. And the base stripe option was a Shaker stripe that went along the hood, roof, and trunk. Mopar also added 2 new options for the vehicle, a rocker panel body side triple stripe with a Mopar logo across the doors, or an A-line body side stripe that wraps over the deck lid and has a Mopar logo on the rear quarter panel. I will try to find some pictures of those, but they are very hard to find since the car is so limited. The 14 Challenger also got black vapor grille surround, black fuel filler door, gloss black deck lid spoiler, Mopar quarter glass decals, and gloss black Mopar design badges, so this was definitely visually different from your average RT. This edition also got new 20x8 inch gloss black wheels with Mopar center caps. The president and CEO of the Dodge brand at the time, Tim Kuniskis, spoke glowingly about the car, saying, quote, "The Mopar 14 Challenger shows that when combining a legendary car, like the Dodge Challenger RT Shaker, and making it even more exclusive, we create collectible performance machines unlike anything else on the road. You can continue to expect great things when Dodge and Mopar team up." End quote. The interior also got its fair share of upgrades with a dark slate interior, performance front seats with premium black Napa leather, Mopar blue accent threading, the Mopar logos embossed in the back of the seat, and a pistol grip shifter and 3-spoke leather wrap performance steering wheel that completed the package. All the owners got an interior plaque with their serial number, as we've seen in all the vehicles so far, a Mopar branded key fob, and a huge custom owner's kit. So that kit added some extra goodies like brochures, memorabilia, and customized items, all of which have the serial number of your own car. Another really awesome feature was that when ordering your Mopar 14 Challenger, buyers could add tons of Mopar custom shop items, which I'll show on screen. So the most popular options chosen were the Mopar hood pin kit, Mopar performance badges, quad exhaust tips, the Mopar Challenger car cover, and the Mopar performance catback exhaust system. So this meant that depending on which options you ordered, each Mopar 14 could potentially be different from each other. Again, the only thing that wasn't too special was the performance, as this car got the standard 5.7 Hemi V8 that the Challenger RTs have had for many years, but a Mopar cold air intake was added. There were 2 transmissions, an optional 5-speed auto, and a standard 6-speed manual. The power output was slightly different depending on the transmission, so the automatics had 372 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, while the manual got 375 horsepower and 4 10 pound-feet of torque. And the Mopar 14 was capable of a 0 to 60 in 5 seconds flat, and a quarter mile in 13.5 seconds. Now for the third and final Mopar edition of the video, Mopar really switched things up for 2015 by offering a limited edition package instead of a whole vehicle. This was a performance upgrade kit for the 2015 Dodge Charger RT, with all the parts coming in a special wooden Mopar crate that was serial numbered. The starting base price of the Charger RT was $33,595 US in 2015, and the kit would add $3,550 to that price, and they were limited to just 50 copies, so technically the rarest thing yet for the Mopar editions. You can order both the car and the kit together in any of the 10 available paint colors for the year. I've tried to find pictures, but they were extremely hard to find, and I can't help but think that most of the kits weren't actually used, but just stored away by collectors for the future. I did manage to find one guy on the LX forums by the name of B5RT who posted about his. he had number 1 of 50, so please forgive me about the photo bucket watermarks. That was the only thing I could find. This kit was only intended for the RT and its 5.7 Hemi V8 engine, so performance-wise, that includes Mopar's Scat Pack Performance Stage 1 components. So that's a cold air intake, catback exhaust, premium fuel PCM, and a high-flow oil filter. Mopar says that the overall gains are 18 horsepower and 18 pound-feet of torque, so that should push the power numbers up from 370 to 388 horsepower and 395 to 413 pound-feet of torque. The only weird thing is that Mopar called this the Scat Package, even though the actual Scat Pack model comes with a 6.4 liter Hemi V8, not the 5.7. To improve the handling and engine visual, a strut tower brace was also added. Of course, there are some aesthetic tweaks to separate your Charger from the rest. There were matte black side body graphics that ran from bumper to bumper just above the rockers, with the writing Mopar 15, as well as a Scat Pack badge with your Mopar kit number on it, and Mopar tread plates. These are minor details, but they're instantly recognizable if you know your Chargers. The interior gets a bit of an upgrade with Mopar door sill plates, a bright pedal set, and a Mopar 15 serialized dash plaque. Owners also get special packages that include a certificate of authenticity, a brochure, a vintage Scat Pack poster, a Mopar Performance fender badge, a Mopar magnetic mechanics tray, and more, all found in that branded and numbered wooden crate. So honestly, this was a very cool spin on the Mopar editions. They did things a little bit differently and offered some pretty good value to customize your Charger, and they even gave you that choice of wanting to install everything or holding on to the kit for the future and maybe installing it later. The upgrades are not monumental, but they are a nice addition over a stock vehicle. So that's the end of this video, guys. What do you think of the Mopar editions? Again, this is part 2 from 2013 to 2015, so if you guys want to see more, I can add another 3 vehicles in every episode. Are you one of the lucky 661 people who own one of these 3 vehicles? Let me know down in the comments section below. I think this is a great strategy from Chrysler to create more limited edition and desirable vehicles using various Mopar parts. And remember, most of the customizations to these vehicles are parts that could be purchased from a dealer. Anyways, thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe for all your Mopar content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.